welcome back. We are going to talk just a little bit. This is sort of a little bit of a digression, but I was really interested in what you said before when we were talking about analysis and how the kids, even at this age, and as a secondary teacher, it always really amazes me the things that you guys can do that I can think, oh, the middle grade teachers are going to appreciate that, and the high school teachers are going to appreciate that, because these kids are going to come in so ready now to understand what they read, instead of just sounding out the words, you know,
Sure.
you really get in. So you had mentioned this idea of this prove it activity, which really rang bells with me. That really sounds like analysis. So talk to me a little bit about that and how you
Okay.
use the informational text with that.
Sure. I use Prove It in the whole group using the novel, and I also pull it into my small group lessons, and I may even use it on a passage rather than some of the books. This book, for example, is Amazing Animal Tales. It's a nonfiction book, so we can focus on the text features. And sometimes my questions may come from a text feature, from a caption, or from
And that's one of your big standards.
It's huge.
And this is how you just pulled it in organically.
Absolutely, but what I may say is, who can tell me what a training dog is? I won't eat or read until you can tell me what a training dog is, and you can prove to me from the text where you found it. And it's just called Prove It to make it a game. And then I give them 3 M&Ms that they can prove it, and we move to the next question. And basically
That's
all
fantastic. That's text evidence. That's
fun.
RI1,
Sure.
RL1.
And it really just requires you looking at the text ahead of time, drawing up a few little questions that you're going to ask while they're reading. And you can sometimes get some of them out of the back of the book. But it is important to pull in the captions and the graphs and the graphic aids, because those are some of the things that they don't look at. They are so used to reading the text and not looking at all the other information that's presented in all of the different text features that there are. And if you look on the nonfiction text features poster, there are tons of text features.
And that is such a salient point, because we talked a lot in the last video about how you scaffold a comprehension of a difficult novel that had characterization and, you know, subtleties of plot and whatnot. And then we talked about how important it is, you know, to pull in the informational text to sort of increase engagement and interest in that text. But there's a lot of other reasons to have the informational text. And you and I were talking about this earlier about the college and career readiness, and kids being able to fill out a job application or a mortgage contract, or be able to read instructions for something. And that's where text features really come in, and that's a whole nother comprehension piece. And I hadn't really thought about that. So these, and you pulled these from the Basil readers, right?
I pulled these from the Basil readers. These books I pulled from the library, and these are awesome just to sit in the rocking chair after lunch and read aloud to the students. It's nonfiction. You're pulling so many different vocabulary words, but you can also point out different text features to them while you're just reading aloud a book to them.
And who would have thought, again, you've got that flexibility and that really organic connection, and I think that's something we want to point out about these Common Core units, is that we don't have everything in isolation anymore. And you know, this is amazing that you're talking about, you've shown me as we sat here today, oh, this is how I did pronouns, or this is how I did text features, and it's all in this basket with Because of Winn-Dixie. And it's
amazing.
all connected. It is amazing the things you've been able to do. And there was one other thing you said, which was quotation punctuation.
Yes, when we were playing the Prove It game, a lot of the answers came from where the characters were speaking.
Right.
And so we were able to pull out some of the sentences where the people were speaking, and then just write them on chart paper. When we did the activity in the fall, we actually used the macaroni noodles and glued them on, just like we did in 2nd grade. But just quotations is a huge standard in 3rd grade, and it's very difficult for them, but them seeing it in the text, just like indenting a paragraph. When you see that in the text, it all becomes more clear. That's what she means by me scooting this over when I want to begin a new paragraph. But actually being able to use the text to show them that.
That's brilliant. And you have you're very good at the hook and the game and the memory, you know, tool, and that. So there's a lot of things around this classroom that are absolutely adorable and really catchy, and I just want to share a few of them. before we say goodbye today. So we're going to, in our next video, take a little tour and see some of the really clever things that are around the classroom. And as much as I can, I'm going to put this into the document to share. And some of your things are on Teachers Pay Teachers, and people can also go and find some of the games there, and we will give you everything that we can, all the copies, everything we can pull out of you to give away, we'll do that today.
I've made as many games as I can to address Common Core because there weren't a lot of materials readily available to us at the beginning, and it's just made it where I can incorporate the games into the classroom.
Yeah, and some of them are, they really have worked well, and you've really seen some results, so that's what we'll do next. Thanks.